Here again with another Shameless Season 8 episode review video. Before I get into that though, pretty important, if you are caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching Shameless, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you found out that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for all of you out there that are wondering, I've seen Shameless all the way through at least one time thus far. Some episodes I've seen multiple times, but I wanted to rewatch this show. So join me on the journey. For the most part, this show is really good. This season, I'm starting to notice a slight, an ever so slight drop off, and I think that continues. But who knows? I know the last two seasons are terrible, at least from my initial watch of them. But I'm enjoying this stuff thus far. So join me on the journey and let's discuss it down in the comments section. So with all that in mind, this will be Shameless Season 8, Episode 3. The title of this episode is called God Bless Her Rotting Soul. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. Carl, Lip, and Ian talk about the guy, Eric, that chased them for the meth. Debbie's there too. And Frank doesn't really want to talk about it. He's Francis now. That was the old Frank, he says. And then Fiona comes downstairs and everyone gets quiet because they don't want Fiona to know about it. And then V mentions that she's starting to regret getting Svetlana arrested. Kev asks Fiona if she's examined her breast in the shower this morning. So then Kev has Fiona lift her arms up, and then he fills around all over Fiona's her breasts, and I'm sure he enjoyed it. I would have too. He doesn't feel anything out of the ordinary, and just making sure there aren't any lumps, he says. Lip complains to Brad about Sierra choosing Charlie over him. Brad gives Lip something to obsess about that isn't him wanting Lip to fix a bike. We see Ewing's driving. He looks in rough shape. He's taking a drink out of his thermos and then passes out behind the wheel and then drives into someone's living room. Damn! Ian brings Trevor a soy shake. Ian can't shake off this drug dealer that Eric that chased him. Trevor says grief can change people. Fiona's cleaning the I put ball. I don't know what I meant. She's cleaning that apartment that smells like shit because the lady that had all the kids, Crystal's place, and Crystal actually left baby shit on the wall. At least that's what she thinks it is. Calling her slumlord and all these names that are on the wall. Nessa comes over with a latte for Fiona. And then Mel tells Fiona and Nessa that some people want to move in. They also can pass a credit check. Nessa says her girlfriend's kind of a thunder cunt. Carl has a bunch of women come over to the hot tub. Lip picks up Ewing's as Fiona let him borrow her car, and Frank now wants officially to be called Francis. Frank tells somebody at work about St. Francis, and his new birthday will be the 4th of October. And this person is kind of in awe, what? Ewing's apologizes for having to call Lip. He says he's getting his tenure taken away from him and getting fired. Kev is told he's in fine shape. Kev has a very rare gene, and Kev may be an inbred from Kentucky. I've got something in my eye. And despite the smell, Fiona may have a new tenant. It's Bashir. He's like an IT guy that just works a lot and just needs a place to do his work. Lip takes Ewing's home. Ewing says he's going to prison as soon as he gets put in front of a judge. They'll lock him up for good. Mel tells Bashir, the potential new tenant, about a bunch of lies about the building, how the person that runs the building is lazy and won't replace anything and is cheap, and that kind of scares him away from potentially renting. Ewing's blew a 1.8. It's his 5th DUI. And then the lawyer that Lip was talking to hangs up. Fiona shows the apartment to someone else. She doesn't want to pay $1,000 per month. She wants to pay $800 per month. Ian gets word that his uncle stopped by his job looking for him. So Ian knows that's not right and runs home. And then the guy it's Eric, the guy that's looking for his meth. And he's actually kind of torturing Carl, like has his head underwater in the hot tub, trying to find out more information about it. Where's my meth? Where's the money? Whatever. Ian comes with the baseball bat. He hits a few, gets a few hits off, but then he gets put down, and they have a gun pointed at Ian. He tells Ian and Carl that they have 24 hours. Otherwise, he's going after Fiona, Liam, and Debbie, and so forth. Lip talks to Brad about Ewings, doesn't think Ewings can get sober to keep him out of jail. Fiona stops by Frank's work. She wants a discount on stuff there. Frank says him buying stuff with a discount would be unethical. And Fiona needs some money. He gives her $7, which she doesn't actually take. That's all he has at the moment until he gets paid. And then Fiona tells him to fuck off, Frank. Lip comes back to Ewing's place. He's face down with puke all over. He tells Lip broken ribs hurt worse than broken arms. He asks why Lip's going back. Gotta get you some groceries. He wants to talk him into going to rehab. And then Ewings wants a drink. Ewings wants to drink himself to death as he's too much of a chicken shit to commit suicide. He tells Lip to piss off. So Lip leaves. Debbie comes home early one night and Neil says, "It's over, Debbie. I'm in love with my nurse and you're a horrible person." Lakeisha does love Neil. At least that's at the moment. Carl tells Debbie, he calls Debbie, emergency family meeting, come home now. Don't tell Fiona. Lip complains to Brad about Ewings. Brad doesn't really like listening to Lip's shit because he's a self-centered prick as well, but it makes him feel better. So Lip gets a call from Carl. V gets the bill for Kev's anesthesia. A realtor comes into the alibi looking to sell it due to the fact that Svetlana is the one that technically owns it. And then family meeting time, Lip says they have to ask Fiona what she thinks. Frank arrives home with a dead squirrel. Lip asks Frank if he has any cash, and Frank gives Lip the $7 that he had that Fiona didn't want. And then they say Frank got them into this shit, and Frank says it was Monica. And then Frank is having a strange feeling, like his blood is warming. And he also came home with this squirrel. And V goes to see Svetlana and tells her to sell the bar to her, and they make some stipulations. They're going to agree to keep things the way they were, but obviously they're not going to be a threesome anymore. Fiona is told about the Eric guy that wants the meth, and then Fiona is taking her time with this. I was right. That keeping the meth was a bad idea. I was right. I was super fucking right. And then she has everyone tell her, I was wrong, Fiona. Or everyone but Carl tell Fiona they were wrong and Fiona was right. And then Frank feels guilt. And then Fiona asks Frank about using his employee discount so that he feels good or guilt over it. And because we're going to need a bunch of shovels. So they ended up getting, Frank must have let them use his discount. They ended up getting a bunch of shovels and everybody's digging Monica's grave. And then Carl comes by in the digging machine is what I'm going to call it. And he actually pulls out Monica's casket, but then he drops the coffin. And Monica kind of falls out a little bit and it stinks really bad. Fiona grabs the bags of meth that were in Monica's coffin. And then they go to see Eric at the storage locker or storage unit. Frank says, you were Monica's partner, so half of the drugs were hers. Frank says, if you come near my family again, as God is my witness, I'll bury you with Monica. And it's like, okay, so he got about half of what he was really owed, like $37,000 out of the 70. And Fiona's like, thanks, Francis. Like, she didn't expect that. And then Ian tries to fix Monica's headstone, as that was cracked with Carl driving the digging machine. And then Fiona's painting, and then Fiona tells Mel she got in touch with Bahir and found out the bullshit bedbug story. And Fiona kind of snaps on Mel, saying, don't fuck with me. I will fucking ruin you. I want you to call Bahir and say that she was lying. You don't scare me. And then, Mel's like, oh, okay. Kev calls someone and says he was found at a gas station 30 years ago, and he's actually Bart from Kentucky. And then Carl goes out into the hot tub, and Eric is loading it up, so all the girls leave, so Carl won't have his hot tub time anymore. Svetlana is released from the holding cell. Lip tells Ewings that you don't have to go to rehab, brought rehab to you. Go away. I'm not going to just let you roll over and die. Didn't know AANA made house calls. Then the meeting crew with Brad go into Ewing's place. Liam's watching TV, and the squirrel opens its eye. And that's what ends this episode of Shameless. So pretty good episode. Nothing spectacular. I'll score it an 8.5 out of 10. And my characters of the episode, for the ladies, it's got to be Fiona. She was magnificent, especially getting in Mel's face. Like, don't play fucking games with me, bitch. And then for the guys, one could say Frank, one could say Lip. Frank and Lip are going to be the co-male characters of the episode. Just, they did phenomenal. Especially Frank, well, as Francis, of course. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Shameless and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your preferred social media sites. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Shameless. What would you rate it, and whom, if you had to choose, would be your male and female, or just one character of the episode? Click right here for my Shameless series finale rant video, assuming you've watched all the episodes of Shameless. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.